Welcome to the Lightwalker's Path. Grow your spirit with Rosemary. In this show, Rosemary creates a safe place to nurture your inner light, ask questions, develop new insights, and find your soul's purpose. So please welcome the host of Lightwalker's Path, Grow Your Spirit with Rosemary DiTrolio.
Good morning. I'm Rosemary DiTrolio, and I'm your host for the Lightwalker's Path, Grow Your Spirit with Rosemary. And we're streaming live on Bold Brave TV and multiple streaming platforms. Join me every Tuesday at 10 Eastern to develop new insights, find your soul's purpose, and hear enlightening conversation, and hopefully become inspired. You can find replays on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many other streaming platforms. And today, because it's all about love and it's February, my guest will be Sandra Murphy, IDS of Classic Design. She's an award-winning designer, but I prefer to call her an alchemist. She takes room elements, color, furniture, and your personal taste and combines it to create a perfect living space for you. She's not only a wonderful designer, but she's also my sister. And today I've asked her to join us because we will join forces with our love of each other and our love of our clients to give you tips for creating a welcoming office space and home environment to welcome your friends, clients, and other. So I want to welcome Sandra Murphy to the broadcast today. Hi, Sandy.
Hi, good to see you.
You
Good to be
too,
here.
you too. I'm excited to have you on again today,
Thank
so
you.
we can weave some magic together for our clients and our friends. So I wanted to just start by saying that I wanted to ask you if you remember when Dad used to give us those Valentine candy boxes. Did he do that when you were younger too? The little
Yes, he
candy
did.
boxes?
Hmm.
Okay. So our family is all about love. We're Italian. We love, people and friends and all that. And I thought if we both combine our ideas about what we do to welcome people both to our homes and to our businesses, that would be an awesome show. So I want to start by asking you some of the things that you do when you are designing a space and you want to make it feel welcoming for your guests or for your clients.
Well, the first thing to look at is the condition of the room we're about to work on. The first thing people would see when they walk into a room is it beautiful? And beautiful has to do with you looking at the prettiness you've added, not the clutter that's around the room. So if you're going to have people over, the first thing I would say was A, make sure it's clean, and B, make sure you've removed the excess so that when people walk in, they feel welcoming, the room is very attractive, and they enjoy being in your home.
Yeah, I love that. I know that when I'm trying to think clearly and there's a lot of junk on my desk, I have to just clear the whole thing and then it opens up my mind so I can be fresh and clear and have a better way to work. If there's stuff around me, I'm always thinking about that junk around my desk, or that clutter in the corner, which we all have, right?
It's very true. It clutters the space. It kind of clutters your mind. You can't think straight when there's things everywhere. So I always say try to get people to do that first, even though that might not be their personality. It's hard to
Yeah.
almost keep on the day-to-day things, but if they can do it, great.
Yeah, that's great. One of the things that I do is like when people come into my office space, the way I welcome my clients is I have an area when they first walk in that has an area where they can stop and get a tea. And then they bring it in, and I usually have some food there so they can bring something in while I'm doing a workshop. And, they seem to love that whole feel of you being welcomed as if you're coming into your family home. Oh, someone gave me some tea and they're offering me some,
Right.
a cookie or whatever it
Mhm.
may be. Yeah. So tell me, I know I've been to your house several times and I know you love having guests. What are some of the special touches that you like to do when you have a guest coming in?
Well, the first thing is I have to set the stage, so to speak, and that has to do with how the lights are set in the rooms. So people have lighting overhead and they might have auxiliary lamps and table lamps, floor lamps. Everything doesn't have to be on the highest setting because then it's too bright. But if it's a
Hmm.
three-way bulb, put it on the second notch so it feels moody but not too bright. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
It kind of really sets the stage. So people
Yeah.
walk in, they have a nice feeling as they're coming into the home. I have an open
Yes.
concept family room kitchen, an island in the kitchen. And if I'm serving drinks, I always have the pretty glasses set on the island and the hors d'oeuvres there. So they come in like, oh, isn't this nice? They already know it's set up for them. And it's a good feeling when they
Right.
come in. You
Right.
know,
I especially enjoyed the chocolate on the pillow. When I went to
you're
your
just
house, I'm
saying,
like,
oh, for
it's
sure.
it's like a hotel. I got a chocolate on my pillow, and you had special soft towels and extra special things in the bathroom, so we felt comfortable. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool.
I
Um,
say if people may or may not have a guest room, if they don't have a dedicated guest room and they're using an office slash guest room, I just say make sure you've already cleaned it, opened up the sleep sofa if that's what's there, fluff the pillows, make it look like you knew they were coming and you made the special effort just for them.
I
They'd
love that.
appreciate it. Make sure also the bedding looks good and the things that you have on the bed are fresh and clean looking and new and don't look like they're worn and then you've had them 100 times, you clean them 100
Yeah,
times, let's say. Make it
yeah,
look good.
yeah. Like a special set of sheets for your guests and
Correct.
such. Not
Exactly.
the
Yes.
the ones with the train set on them from when your kid was 7 years old or whatever, right?
Yeah. You never want your guests to feel like an afterthought.
Yes, yes, absolutely. One of the other things I love to do is my girlfriend gave me this. I want to let you hear this because I thought this was so cool.
Ah, yeah.
It's a synergy chime. And one of the
Mhm.
things I have outside my office space on the doorway is this gorgeous chime that I bought when I visited you, and we were in Plymouth. And there was this place that had these gorgeous chimes that made the sound.
Ah,
So I have those outside my office. So when the wind blows or people come in, that's the sound they hear before they enter. And it creates such a mood. Everybody comments, "Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful." So
yeah,
my
I bet.
girlfriend, who's a sound healer, gave me this synergy chime the other day when we were doing our sound and Reiki event because she knew I love these things. Every time she plays, I'm like, oh, I want one of those. I love it. So I'm thinking might put that in my office space, like in the main room, because
Hmm.
it's such a pretty sound. I know that you like to create mood with sound as well. So what are some of the things you do, like during holidays and such, with sound in your
You know,
home?
background music, I like instrumentals because if people are talking, you don't want someone singing in the background and then you can't hear what the person is saying to you. So, in a Christmas music in the background, not too loud, it's just,
Yeah.
again, it creates a nice feeling. It's festive and it
Mm-hmm.
just adds to the ambiance of the room.
Yeah, I do like the mood sounds too. Some of the music, it's funny because I have a particular thing where I don't like jazz music, and
I don't even.
I don't like marching music and stuff like that. That
Mhm.
really irritates me. And horns, so like gentle kind of
Flute,
meditation music. Yeah, horn is like "Rah." My husband and I are both the same. We're like, I don't like that sound. But
right.
certain music, fits a personality of a person too. So I
Hmm.
love like the wordless music as well, like the meditation music when people enter
Right.
my office space is very calming, and people are
Exactly.
going, ah, and they're just ready to receive whatever you have for them. Okay. Um, what else? No, feeling tone. So I was going to talk about feeling tone too. Is when you invite people into your space. I'm a
Mhm.
hugger. Our families we were huggers, and we were like really, kind of joining and welcoming like our mom and dad would
Sure.
do. So when you want your clients to feel comfortable, or if someone enters your home, what are some of the welcoming touches that you do yourself as a person to make people feel comfortable?
Well, I mean, they come in, we take their coat, we walk them into the main room, hand them something to eat or drink to get started, and then just chat around the kitchen island for a bit. And then, they look around the room. If it's Christmas, of course, they're looking at the Christmas tree or the decorations or whatever it might be. Um,
Yeah.
it's just always nice to have people over and you smile at them, welcome them in. People are always
Yeah.
happy to come over when you do that.
Yeah, and I do believe that too. And I think a lot of people feel, let's say, uncomfortable going into someone's place that they don't know. So I
Hmm.
found that too. If it's a new client, I'll have them sign in, I'll kind of like, say, "Oh, I'm so happy you're here." And it's the tone of the welcoming too that makes people
Mhm.
feel like they're welcome in your space and they're not like an outsider coming in.
Mhm.
So I try to think of like if this person was my best friend or my family, how would I treat them when they arrive? And
Right.
I think people are sometimes like, "Oh, that was nice. I didn't expect that." So it's been kind of fun, to meet new people.
Ro, along the same lines of that, when I'm having people over for drinks and dinner, I only have it not a dining room anymore, but a kitchen table. And I always have it preset with everything on the table, all the cutlery, the dishes, and the decor. So when they walk into the room, they not only see the drinks on the island, which look pretty because I've got them in nice fancy
Yeah,
glasses and whatever, but they see the table set and they're like, oh, isn't this nice? Because again, not everybody takes the
yeah,
time to do the extra touches that make somebody feel like this is specially done for them. And people do
yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you're going into a restaurant and they have it all set for you already, or a
Exactly.
wedding thing,
Yes.
The other thing I do like is using the color. So like in my office, because I love the earthy tones, I have a lot of like what you see behind me, the
Hmm.
foresty colors. The main room when they come in, it has like light blue and white cloud looking stuff. So when they walk in, it's
Hmm.
kind of angelic looking, which matches the vibe of what I'm doing.
Right.
How do you employ color? Let's say I notice your background. I know the colors you love. How do colors affect you as a person when you use them? Oh, okay. Yep. I was just looking. I got a little note here. Okay, so
Well,
how do colors affect you personally?
well, colors affect everyone. For me, there's a lot of different colors I love, from anything pale like what I'm wearing today to something bold like a deep fuchsia color. I love that color a lot when I'm wearing
Yeah.
it.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm in a room or looking at something online that's pale and light in color, it's like, oh, that's so pretty. And yet I'll
Mm,
see another room that's bold and bright. I like many different things. I think it just depends on what room it is and what mood you'd like to create, because the intensity of a color really sets the tone for the room, because your walls are the largest area in a room. And so, depending on what
yeah.
color you use or how light or dark, will change the feeling of it.
Yeah. I noticed too, like because you're such a good designer, when you meet with a client, kind of like their style before you even start working because you question them and you do activities that like you nail down who they are. That's
Yeah.
why like what colors would match for their office or their building. It'd be very different than, let's say, what you and I would pick for ourselves would be very different than what your client might like. Like when you're
Mhm.
designing a male office, I know that you showed me a couple pictures that you chose certain bold things for a man's room rather than what we might choose for, let's say, our office space. So I know
Mhm.
that you had done one really interesting office for a man. Well, you've done several, but one of them I saw was quite interesting. Tell me some of the elements you used when you were designing for that man that you did the office space for.
It might have been the lawyer, and
Yeah,
most offices are very white or neutral, light beige, whatever. And to me, that's kind of ho hum. So when I did his room, I made sure I put a bold navy blue behind him, and the rest of
yeah,
the rooms were neutral. And then
I
I
love
found a
that.
beautiful artwork of a sailing ship, put it on the navy wall again behind him, and then put a few decorative touches in the room, including I did simple window treatments. So what
Yeah,
that does is when people come in, he looks like an important hire because his office
yeah,
isn't bland. It looks like, oh wow, he must do
yes.
really well. Look how nice his room looks. It really is perception, but it also makes him feel good working in that environment. So,
Right, right. And I know it also is a very grounding, like a grounding energy when you walk in a space. I'm really energy sensitive, so I can always tell like the energy of a room or a home
mhm,
or a space. So when I see, let's say, that deep color, it feels more grounded and centered and more
mhm,
serious tone, like I can handle this.
mhm.
Even like if I go to a meeting, like the power color suit, like would be like a navy color, would be
Yes,
more
that's very true.
serious than, let's
Right.
say, light florals when I'm trying to be like a speaker or, I'm doing something in
Absolutely.
that venue.
Right,
So the
right.
colors that we choose even to wear also say things about our energy and what
Mhm.
our vibe is. So
That's
that's kind
very
of
true. Well,
yeah, yeah, that's
one
really
of the
cool.
things I was going to mention I do when I do the questionnaire with people. At the end of the booklet, there is something about color, and it has to relate to their personality. So I'll always have them pick a color pencil out of this box I
Yes.
have, and I'll make a joke saying, well, that was a t-shirt, but we're not going to color today. Just pick a pencil. And they pick
Yeah.
it up, they look at it, and I say, why did you choose this? And they'll say,
Yeah.
well, is it your favorite color? And then if it is their
Yes.
favorite color, I tell them what the color means about their
Mhm.
personality. So that's
Absolutely.
another way I get to know their color, and maybe if I can incorporate that color somewhere in the room we might be working on.
That's right. So, like for me, I always choose the blues because blue is a communication color, and that actually matches your throat chakra. And pink for you is actually the color of the heart, and that's loving energy. So, you respond with pinks because that's the energy you want in your life, and I'm a lot of blue because I want to communicate. So it's interesting how we choose different things that resonate also with our personality. So
Hmm.
that's so to
For
bring
sure.
those elements in, like I have these gorgeous, you can't see from here, but I have a beautiful blue, like a cobalt blue vase, and I have a
Hmm.
couple of those elements in my house just to bring in that blue energy that I love.
Yeah, that's
So
very pretty.
yeah, that's really nice. Okay. So, okay, we're going for a break in about a minute. So, this is a Lightwalker's Path. Please stay with us. My guest is Sandra Murphy, IDS, Classic Design. And we'll be right back with more wonderful tips for color and design and love for your home.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
Welcome back. This is Rosemary, the Lightwalker's Path. Grow your spirit with Rosemary on Bold Brave TV, and my guest, Classic Design, Sandra Murphy, IDS, and she's also my sister. And we're talking today about color and energy and bringing love, energy, and color into your home. So a couple of things I was thinking about. I know some people really love candles, and I love them too, but my thought goes back to this little girl that I had in third grade that lit a candle in her room because she loved candles and she burnt down her house. So,
Oh,
what are some of your little hacks or things that you would tell people that love candles, but are a little afraid of like the cat on the table that's going to knock it over
right.
or something else? What are some
Absolutely.
some elements that you could bring candles that are safe into your home? What are some of the things you suggest?
Well, nowadays there are very good candle options that aren't really a true candle. There are some that they're battery operated, they have a flickering flame, and if you
Love
look
that.
at it first, you think it's a real candle. So I would say for anyone who has pets in the house or are afraid of causing a fire, and you really should, if you have real candles, never leave the room. But I
Hmm.
would prefer to have them use these newer versions of the flickering flame, do that instead of a real candle. It's just safer and it also
Yes.
looks good. I would do that.
It's funny because when my husband and I are watching these movies and they have these like love scenes with like a million candles, we're both looking at each other and say they're gonna burn the house down. Like we're not even thinking it's romantic. I'm like, oh my God, something's gonna catch fire.
Well, in
It's funny.
Victorian days, they would put these candles on a Christmas tree that were real.
I
I'm like,
know.
oh my
Oh
gosh,
my
talk about causing a
gosh.
fire. That would do it.
Oh yeah, especially with a pine tree that is basically like full of resin and could go up in a second. No wonder there
Exactly.
was so many fires back in the day, right? Oh my gosh. Yeah, so as far as scents go, one of the things I love to do is I like to spray the room with orange essential oil, which is a
Mhm.
citrusy smell
Mhm.
because it's not like power overpowering or perfumey. And I know there's certain ways that like if you want to make your house smell beautiful for a holiday, what are some of the things you use or your tricks for making a room smell like inviting? What are some of the smells that you prefer?
I keep those down to a minimum. I was never one so much for scents, but I do have those candles. What do you call them? They're one of those companies that sells
Yank.
all these plugins they have
Okay.
different they're pretty. Anyway, I have one and now I found out that there's different levels of scent. So there's a
Oh,
little button on the side you can press. So if you
oh,
don't want it to be overpowering, you can set it the lightest setting. So at least when the plug-in is there, it's not overwhelming. The other thing is some people might be allergic, so I have to be careful
yeah,
about that too.
yes.
But if you don't want to use something like that, there's always, cinnamon and water on the stove or something of that nature where you're adding the scent, but it's in a more natural way.
I love that. Yeah, I found a couple different things. I found a spray for that I use on the my bed sheets actually, and it's completely like natural organic, and it's
Oh,
very,
that's
very
good.
light, and it's like a linen spray, and
Mhm,
it's so nice because when I go in the bedroom, like if you touch
mhm.
the sheets, it kind of lifts up this very light scent, but it's not, detergent-y or overpowering.
Right,
I'm really careful with that as well because of allergies and such. So
sure,
that's really good. Okay, coffee center. So I love my coffee. So whenever I
right.
come to your house, tell everybody what you do like upstairs in that room that we
Mhm.
stay that I love so much. My husband and I are like, "Oh, hotel,"
We have
Yes.
a second floor that runs the whole length of the garage. It has an open space that would be a man cave if you wanted to use it for that. It has the sofa and the TV there. There's also a piece of furniture that I have put a Keurig on top of the surface there and added the mugs and the Keurig pods and all of the pods for the Keurig so that when people are staying upstairs in the bedroom that's down beyond that room, they can set up the coffee pot at night, and in the morning they can have their cup of coffee, either a full pot or use the Keurig pod. And I also have a tiny little refrigerator on that counter as well for their cream. So they don't have to rush
Mhm.
down the stairs in the morning to have their first cup of coffee. They can leisurely take that cup of coffee while the other person's in the shower. They could be sitting around with their cup of coffee, waiting for their turn, enjoying the few moments, by themselves upstairs. They love it.
Yeah. My husband thought he was in hog heaven when he saw that coffee maker. He's like, "Oh my God, we've got a coffee maker up here." He was so excited. I think that's the first thing we do if we go to a hotel or on vacation. We
Yeah,
look around and see if there's a coffee maker
right.
because we need that in the morning to get us, awake and going, and it's a nice way to
Yeah.
relax and be ready for the day. Okay. Uh, all right. What is your favorite story about a client that you've transformed their space? So, like when I'm sure you have clients that give you recommendations and such. So, do you have a favorite design thing that you did for a client that they were really happy about?
Um, Well, one that I did that it was a good transformation. They had a sofa love seat that really was not a match, but it looked like it because it was the same neutral fabric on both. So the room had
Mm-hmm.
a rug that was too small and a coffee table too small. The walls had nothing on it yet, and they knew they had just moved in recently. They knew they needed help. That's why they hired me. So I basically added the artwork, the pillows that were needed, a larger Oriental rug, which was not the old style Oriental, but an updated version, hand knotted. expensive, but it looked fabulous in the room because the size was right and the colors were neutral. So by changing and positioning things and scaling the extra pieces along with their sofa love seat to the right size, now the room
Mhm.
was right. Everything
Yeah.
fit like puzzle pieces. And they were
Yeah.
very happy because when you add the accessories, it's like
Yeah.
putting jewelry on a dress. It's the finishing touches. Now the room looks good.
Right. And I love that, you respect people's loved items. So if they really love a certain table that they got from grandma and you could fit it somewhere in the room,
Sure.
you can employ what they love and then, just move things around and change it. I also find that when you move things, it changes energy. So I always tell people, let's say when they've been through a divorce or something, like box up all that old stuff that isn't yours and get it out of the room, move
Yeah.
stuff around, put a water feature. Like in my office, that kind of changed the energy when I moved things around a little bit and
Yeah.
added the water feature because that adds live energy to a room too.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
those are some of my favorite things that I love to do is just kind of change it up a little bit when
Sure.
people come into my space. Yeah.
I did that for an accountant. I brought in an outdoor water feature in her office because it made a
Oh,
louder
love
sound,
that.
and then did an artwork of a garden on the wall behind where the
Oh,
water feature was. And she said, "What a difference it made." She goes, "It's so peaceful to hear that sound of water,
I
particularly
love it.
around April when she's doing a lot of taxes and she's normally stressed out."
Oh,
The
yes.
water feature really helped her. So it worked out well.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did that in the corner of my healing room when I do like an angel communication class or an intuition class. I have the water bubbling and you can
Hmm.
you can hear that and then I'll put the music on really low so you have that as a background and then
Right.
I'll lower the lights so we'll go into like a very
No,
light relaxation and it
there you
helps
go.
people connect with their inner wisdom or their angels and it's just really
Sure.
fun. Yeah, it's really a cool experience for people. Okay. Um, let's see. What is your favorite memory of either a vacation or an event or a time of your life? What were some of your favorite moments?
Oh my gosh.
You could pick any.
I know. I don't even
You
know
got
what to
so
say. I
many.
mean, there's so many times we've had a lot of great experiences, things with family, going on these different vacations together, enjoying time. I don't know. I
Hmm.
mean, I've been so many places and done a lot. I'm just thankful that I have the kind of family that wants to do that with us and loves being together. I mean, that's really
Yeah,
what it's about. If you have a good family and you're not fighting and you enjoy each other's company, then just about anything you do, you're going to have fun. So,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, we were really blessed to have a family with a lot of love in it. And I know a lot of my people that I know and clients may not have had that beautiful experience that we
Yeah.
had. And that's one of the reasons why I love to bring them in and make them feel like they're family when they visit my office or my space. And the other thing I was going to say is there's a lot of single people near the holidays that feel really lonely. And one of the
Mhm.
things I did after, I was divorced and single for about 9 years, and I would buy myself flowers. If I wasn't dating anybody or I
Huh.
did, it didn't matter. I would bring flowers into my room and I'd say, "Oh, isn't this gorgeous? I deserve these flowers." And a lot of women don't do that for themselves. Like
Yeah,
you got to do for yourself what you need for yourself. And
right.
it really brings that joy. And now, of course, my husband brings me roses, but I didn't have that for a long time. So I had to have to
Interesting.
do that for myself to create that
Yeah.
feeling of love that
I
I
remember
needed.
years ago, I had a very good friend. We were teachers together, and she would come visit our house, and either my mother or my father would always hug her, and she would
Yeah,
actually cling. And I didn't
I
realize that
remember.
her family was not warm and lovable, and nor was
No.
her husband, which I didn't know about that till years later. So that's why she was so happy to come into our house and have
I
mom and dad hug her when she came in. It was just a really
oh,
good
I
feeling for her.
know. I
Yeah, she
know.
needed it.
Yeah, one of my good friends was telling me that she named her business after a nickname Dad used to call her because she loved our parents.
I'll be
And
darned.
she to this day, like it's been 50 years or so, she's like, "I love your mom and your dad and your father used to call me this name Allie, so I named my business after that because he always made me feel so welcomed when I
Mhm.
came to
Yes,
visit." And I'm like,
yes,
"Oh, that really hit my heart because that's I knew that's how he was, but it's great that other people felt that from him." So
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool. Okay. Um, just looking at the time because we're going to break in about 2 minutes for another thing. Okay. One of the things you're mentioning about color I thought was interesting because I have this new thing I'm playing with. It's a bio well machine, and recently I scanned my girlfriend. Yeah, so I scanned her fingertips before a Reiki session and after. And what it does is it actually shows you the colors and the position of your energy chakras, which are the points of energy throughout the body. And
Wow.
it went from a 60% alignment to a 91% alignment after Reiki. So I'm like, this is so cool. So we aligned her chakras and the colors in her body. And of
Oh, that's
course, knowing that, I would also say to her, well, to align your, let's say, heart chakra, wear more pink. To align your communication center, wear more blue. So I would,
interesting.
also give suggestions for aligning energy, as you do with aligning color in a room.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, because rooms have energies and places have energies. Do you ever
Sure.
walk in a place and like you could feel like dead energy in there?
There is a place where we used to live up one of the side streets. And every time I pass this house, I'm saying, whoever lives there isn't happy. All the other
Oh,
houses have a
yes.
well maintained lawn and the house has been kept up. And this house looks sad. The
Yes.
lawn was beat, the house was drab. I'm saying, oh, who's ever living there is not happy at all. I can see it.
Yes. Yes, I
Yeah.
I've seen that as well. There's this house down the road. Oh, we're gonna break. We'll go back to this in 30 seconds.
Okay.
So, all right, we're coming up on a sponsor break on Bold Brave TV. This is the Lightwalker's Path. Stay with us. We've got more tips for you.
Did you know that your beliefs create your entire reality, but it's the subconscious beliefs that do most of the creating? Belief shifter and life coach Shiraz can help you identify those limiting beliefs and eliminate them, often in a single session.
Like it was almost instant, like I had relief right away.
Creating better health, relationships, careers, and finances. Let Shiraz help you step out of safety and into awareness.
Definitely something's happening. It's like a flow inside. It feels good.
Whether in person or online, Shiraz provides personal coaching, belief shifting. Visit Shiraz at energeticmagic.com or call 416-529-7429. Energetic Magic on the BBM Global Network, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Find your greater happiness. Be well. Be aware. Be magical.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of The Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on The Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Welcome back. This is the Lightwalker's Path. Grow your spirit with Rosemary. My guest, Sandra Murphy, IDS, owner of Classic Design. And before the break, we were talking about how houses have energy and places. And I'm really energy sensitive. So there's this one house that in our town that I have gone by. And like the windows are dusty, the house looks dark. I'm like, I get the heebie jeebies every time I pass this place. I'm like, they got to have a ghost or something in there because it's giving me the willies. I
Yeah.
also found out we were going to do an event at a local venue. My girlfriend and I had this thing set up, and we both walked in the room, and she's like, I don't know what this is, but I'm getting weird vibe here. Well,
Mm.
I find out recently that they're doing a ghost walk through there because it's been known to have entities and ghosts hanging out in the space. I'm like, oh, that explains why we felt
Oh,
that
wow.
way. Yeah,
Wow.
but we felt it, and I've done this in other buildings as well, where I can tell if there's like stuck energy in there.
Hmm.
So I know that that affects, how people feel in their homes as well. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, so changing design in a room or changing spaces affects also the feeling of a space. So I know that you were saying that when you move things around and you change energy, it has a different feel to it. And that's really important for people that are moving into a home or a new place that they've never been before and they want to make it feel more like themselves, right?
I found that I was doing one day decorating, one day makeovers. And it was very
Mm,
interesting when I did that. I'd always borrow furniture from other rooms in their home. And
yeah,
sometimes it's this antique piece of furniture that they're just, they've piled books on it. They really don't think much about it. It was inherited. They don't really love the piece. And I'll take that piece and move it to the other room and use it slightly different way. And they'll go, oh, it does not look good. See, it's like
yeah,
they weren't appreciating those older pieces, but yet used in the right location in a different way, all of a sudden became
yes.
a nice piece of furniture to them. So it's
Yeah, and
interesting
it
you can change
inspired.
that. Yeah.
You know, it's funny, when I was a kid, mom used to bring me to antique stores and I could feel energy,
Oh,
right? So I'd be
me
seeing
too.
like the old man sitting in a chair and like I'd be creeped out. So now if I bring anything into my office space, I sage it outside and then I
Oh,
bring it
that's
in and I
funny.
bless the room, because I
Oh,
don't want to have
interesting.
anything with me in that room that doesn't belong to me. And it's
Right.
happened, right? So
Oh, that's
that's one
interesting.
of the things I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing is I've been watching your tips on Facebook where you do your little design tips of the day, which are great. And you really inspired me. So one day I went through my closet and I bagged up a bunch of stuff. Another day I went through all of my old files and I had got a hefty bag full of old stuff. I'm like, why am I keeping this? This is from 20 years ago, right? And
That's
one of
funny.
my friends who does feng shui, what her idea was, she says, get colored files and get black files for the stuff that's just reference that you don't want to deal with, but it's reference that you might go back to, and then get
Okay.
rid of the other stuff or color code it. I'm like, that's genius. So I
Mm-hmm.
bought a bunch of files and I revamped some of the old stuff and threw out a lot. And I felt more inspired. So I created a new course after being inspired called Love Your Inner Guru, where I'm going to combine like angel communication, journaling, and some of the other tips of intuition that I have taught people through the years. So it's kind of a revamped course of maybe two or three of the best nuggets from a couple classes that I've
Mm-hmm.
done.
Very good.
Yeah, yeah, but it was because you inspired me to clean that darn cabinet that really got me going, right?
Yeah. I've had people who are watching these as well that say, gee, thanks for the tip. Oh, and then they'll say, and I did this, this, and this in my house. So that,
Yeah,
they got inspired to do some decorating. What do you think? This is what I did. And it's nice. They're
absolutely.
listening, they're learning. And it's just something, you're engaging people, and people have to like and trust you to want to do anything
Yes.
further with you, especially if they haven't met you before. So it's a good way to kind of introduce myself, and they see the
Yeah, I love
personality.
it. Because
Yeah,
it's not only, the design, but we're kind of, sharing who we are, and that's what
exactly.
people are attracted to. I was going to tell people we have a call-in number, 866-451-1451. If anyone's listening live and they want to call into the show, or you can text us a question through either YouTube or Facebook, and we'll be happy to answer you, either Sandy or I. We both have different businesses and different abilities, but we'd be very happy if you would do that for us. So just keep it in mind because the show ends at 11 Eastern, and we're very happy to do that. I also have what's called the discovery session. I just want to mention where you could meet with me on Zoom at no cost, and you can ask questions if you're on my website. You have a question about some service or something that I offer. Okay, and you could also see Sandy's website. Sandy, mention your website too for our clients.
Sure. It's classicdesignnet.com.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. And I know that when you do your things on Facebook, you usually supply your phone number, but
Mhm.
they can also go to classicdesignnet.com to see what you offer as far as design packages and how they can meet with you and such, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I also decided I would pull some angel cards today. I just was, because it's the season of love, I wanted to just get a quick message for our listening audience today. So the first one I got today was the meditation card. And meditation can be just even walking and being aware of your surroundings. And that will help you to tap into what you need for your life. The other card I got was for today, listening. So you're going to glean some interesting thoughts and new insights when you're listening to our advice. And the third one is the divine timing card, which means that sometimes things happen when they're supposed to at the right time. So if you're an impatient person, and a go-getter like my sister and I are, we both go-getters. Sometimes we have to pull ourselves back and just, kind of sit in our power and decide what's the next right step for our lives, our businesses, and what we want to do. So
Mhm.
that's the cards I pulled today. Okay. All right. Let's see what other questions I have for you. If you were to give someone advice for life, what would be your best advice?
Advice for life. Try to look at the glass half full, not half empty. Because
Mm-hmm.
instead of complaining about things, turn it around. What's good in your life? You know, we live a middle class America life, let's say, and some people are not in that realm whatsoever. We're complaining about silly things sometimes when other people maybe don't have a place to sleep or food on the table. Be
Yeah.
thankful for what you have and look to the positive all the time. If you do that, when your attitude changes, everything in your life will change.
Yes,
So
I
that's
absolutely love
my
that. And I
mm,
really agree. I also say you have to fill your cup and not empty it out. So you have to do things for self-care. Excuse me, to keep yourself energized
sure.
and to know that you're worthy of it. My best advice is don't take things personally. So I know a lot of us, if someone says something in your business or something to you, try not to take it personally. Step back and say, is there any truth in it? And if there is, I'm willing to listen. And if not, for me, I don't take advice from someone I wouldn't go. I don't take criticism from someone I wouldn't go to for good advice. So if
Hmm.
someone is just, throwing shade your way, I
Mhm.
kind of step away and say, is there any truth to it? And if not, then I'm going to discount it. And if there is, I'm going to try to understand what it is that I can do better that can help me and other people a better way. So yeah. Okay.
Sometimes when people are complaining, there's something in their life they're not happy
For
with,
sure.
and they might be taking out on you, and it's not really
Absolutely.
about you. It's more about something that's bothering
They're on,
them personally, and they're just
yeah.
reacting.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are reactive because they don't know how to express maybe something that bothers them. So
Mhm.
that's part of what I do when people book a transformational talk session with me. Part of the things I like to identify for them is how I can help them shift. And I don't replace your counselor or psychologist or anything else, but
Mhm.
working with so many types of personalities for so many years, I'm able to give a different perspective to people, and I hope that they can glean something that can help them. And
Mhm.
me too. I've heard lots of wonderful things from my clients who said, "I've changed your life. You shifted me. You made me more aware." Just something that helps to bring them a different level of awareness
Mhm.
is
For
exciting for
sure.
me. Yeah, I know you did a recent talk for your in your what it's called in Millville,
Community.
your community center, and you
Yep.
got great feedback from it. What is some of the takeaways that your clients and your people who listen to you said? Oh, Sandy, that was great. What were some of the
I
takeaways?
not just I didn't want to just be there speaking for almost an hour, do this, do that. That's boring. So instead, as you and I both have teaching backgrounds, in the teacher in me taught them things, design principles.
Mhm,
If you have those principles in place, no matter what your style is, your room will look better because now you know what the
mhm,
foundation should have in terms of how you do things so that the outcome is more successful. So I was teaching them things along the way, showing them before and after photos. And then I'd get to a photo and say, okay, now what do you think this room needs? And I'd have them
right.
respond because I've already taught
Ah,
them some things and see what they're going to say back. And by
I love it.
engaging them in conversation during that whole talk, they were interested and they were learning and they were glad because I was asking their opinion. They weren't just hearing mine. So
Yeah,
it
and
went
I think
very
that's
well.
great. That speaks a lot for how you also design a space, is that you have such a good grip of what someone needs for their room, that you can
Mhm.
kind of like set it to not only what their taste is, but your knowledge in many years working in design of how to move things around to make it the best space for them. And I've
Mhm.
seen your before and after photos on your website, and I've seen your room design, and it's really amazing how you can take um, one place and really transform it. Excuse
Well,
me.
again, it's about knowing the principles that maybe the homeowner who hasn't learned those wouldn't know what to do. So they're doing what they think is right, and I'm doing what I know is right in terms of balance, proportion, and scale.
Yeah, and I know the funny story that you tell about that huge, gigantic couch those people bought, and they couldn't fit anything in the room except this huge, gigantic black couch. And you're like, what is that? But you transform that room as well by showing them the size of the furniture and what matched the best. So that
Yeah, and
was
that
that was
sofa
good.
never wound up in the scheme that I did because the wife didn't like that at all, and the husband went out and bought it to surprise her, but never ask what she liked.
Yes,
So she didn't like it. You have to
yeah,
have something in your home. You're going to live with a long time. You better make sure it resonates with you. Otherwise, you're not going to be happy. And she wasn't. I think it wound up in their unfinished basement. And that's where
yes,
that piece
exactly.
sat because he couldn't return it.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Right. Or get it out of the house. So that big
Couldn't.
old
He could,
thing.
that was it. You bought it. It was I guess it was final sale. He couldn't return it to the furniture store. He's stuck with it.
Yes.
So that was a waste of money.
Yes. I
Anyway,
also
he
find
learned
like dated spaces, like if you've been living with the same stuff for 30 years and you go in, it looks like you're in a time capsule. I think of like mom's house, how for years, like she had it the same way until,
right,
you came in when Jimmy, transformed mom's place. So it looked
right.
completely different, but
Yeah.
updated and fresh rather than, I'm living 50 years ago, in a time capsule. So,
Well, the other
so
thing
that's
is
good.
people can't always see what I see because, like you say, they're living in a space. To them, it looks fine. Anything looks fine if you're living with it long enough. It's a matter of a fresh set of eyes comes in and looks and sees it in a different way.
There you
You can
go.
change
Okay, we're
it.
coming up on our last sponsor break. This is Bold Brave TV, Grow Your Spirit with Rosemary, and my guest, Sandy Murphy. Thank you.
Did you know that your beliefs create your entire reality, but it's the subconscious beliefs that do most of the creating? Belief shifter and life coach Shiraz can help you identify those limiting beliefs and eliminate them, often in a single session.
Like it was almost instant. Like I had relief right away.
Creating better health, relationships, careers, and finances. Let Shiraz help you step out of safety and into awareness.
Definitely something's happening. It's like a flow inside. It feels good.
Whether in person or online, Shiraz provides personal coaching, belief shifting. Visit Shiraz at energeticmagic.com or call 416-529-7429. Energetic Magic on the BBM Global Network, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Find your greater happiness. Be well. Be aware. Be magical.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of the Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on the Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Hi, welcome back to the Lightwalker's Path, Grow Your Spirit with Rosemary, and my guest, Sandy Murphy, Classic Design. And I wanted to mention before we close out today a few ways that people can reach us and some things we do. So I want people to know that I do workshops, sessions. I work on Zoom as well as in person. I have books and courses on rosemaryd.com. And Sandy, people can reach you either by texting or calling. Could you give your phone number, please?
302-883-7883. And
Okay,
they can reach me if they want to text by that number, or they could email Sandra at classicdesignnet.com. The services I provide would be starting with an initial design consultation, which is for ideas. They can hire me to help them for a short amount of time or for a longer time. Depending on what the service is, will depend on the price. I also will give anybody $50 off any service that they get today. If they call or text me, I will give them that of any service I have. And they can see
beautiful.
the services on my website, which is
Awesome.
classicdesignnet.com.
Perfect. Perfect.
All
And
right.
if someone contacts me, info@rosemaryd.com, I can also link you to some free things on my website. I have a, book download, a videos, a couple things on there, and then you can contact me at info@rosemaryd.com to learn more about what I do. And hopefully we'll hear from some people today. Okay. Last words of advice. Mine would be to keep an open mind and open heart. Always trust your intuition and allow your gut to tell you if something feels right or wrong. Bring yourself some flowers if you don't have a loved one that brings them to you. You're worth it. Buy some dark chocolate for your heart and enjoy your space. And what are some of your last words of advice, Sandy?
I would say your home is your most expensive investment. Make it something that you enjoy being in. So watch how you're using the home each day. Try to keep it clean and clutter free for the most part, because you want to walk in each day and say, home sweet home. That's important.
Hmm. I
Oh,
love that. I love
thank
that. Okay. Best things I learned from mom and dad would be always have food when your guests come in. Give a big
Oh,
hug. Tell a joke. So that's from
yes,
dad. Tell a joke.
yes.
Leave people laughing if you can, and enjoy your life. Travel and love your family. So that's my best advice for mom and dad. Is there any like nugget that sticks out from you for mom and dad that you've learned?
Oh gosh, they're huggers. Make people feel welcome. Dad would meet people on the street, and before you know it, they were talking like they were best buds, and he just met them. It's just that you have to engage people. It doesn't matter what they look like, where they come from, if they look rich or poor. Just talk to people. People always have a story to tell, and they're glad you reached out.
I love that. That's beautiful advice. So I will hope that people will watch our video, and later once this posts on my archive, I can send you the link so that you can also share it with your clients, Andy. Because I know we
Great.
got a lot of views last time when you and I
Yes.
both shared to our people. So
Perfect.
yeah. All right. So this is Rosemary DiTrolio. You've been watching The Lightwalker's Path on Bold Brave TV. Learn more about workshops, sessions, books, and courses at my website, rosemaryd.com. And it's been a joy to have everyone here today. Thank you for
Thank
listening. Please join me next week. And Sandy, thank you for your wonderful energy and light today. It's
You're
been
quite
great having
welcome.
you
Thank you
on.
for having me on your show.
Of course, you're welcome.
Okay.
Have a
Take
great
care.
day. Talk to you
You
soon.
too.
Bye.
This has been the Lightwalker's Path Grow Your Spirit with Rosemary. Tune in each week at 10 a.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave TV network and delve into your soul's purpose through enlightening discussions, wisdom, and inspirational conversations.